Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you for joining me. I'm Katie and today's picture is just because. So you may have noticed at the start of the video there was a pop-up thanking my friend Artemystik, who has a channel on YouTube, and I will pop the link in the description. She very kindly made a watercolour palette for me using Daniel Smith watercolours, and she'd made a really cute tin which she decorated herself and filled the pans in herself, and a beautiful handwritten note card as well. So please check her channel out, it is in the description. This is such a nice thoughtful thing for her to do, and honestly I'm really touched by what a lovely gesture this is. Now, I'm not going to swatch these out because Artemystik has swatched them out on her channel, so again, make sure you go and check her out. However, I will talk about my experiences using these on this painting. And the first thing I can say is wow. Now, just before I get started, I had masked some areas off with masking fluid, although I hadn't done an amazing job of it. I think the masking fluid pen, the nib might have got a bit clogged, but I persevered and it was all good. But oh my goodness, you only had to think of which colour you wanted to use and it almost magically transferred into the mixing palette. Okay, I'm exaggerating there, but that's how little paint I needed to transfer from the pans into the palette. These are very pigmented. I couldn't believe just how pigmented they were. I mean, look at that deep green. That's just wow. You could fall into that. That's as dark as, it's as dark as a black hole, but a green one. You know what I'm saying though, that is some rich colour, and they layered up amazingly. So I'm painting an area of hair on the character and that dries, and then I go in and use the same colour and the same level of concentration of colour in there for the hair behind it, and oh boy, you can tell that layers. Look at it, you can see it right now. Nothing's different, and that's layered up amazingly. It hasn't reactivated it, and that was a pretty juicy coat I'd put on there. And oh wow, and honestly I am absolutely gobsmacked by these paints. So I wanted to keep quite a simple design and let the watercolours do their thing really, as much as I'm capable of allowing it. I do enjoy doing watercolours and I love doing all materials, but I always think I'm always developing, and you know what, that'll be the case until I am no longer on this planet. As long as I've got some form of creating, then I'm always learning, and that's great. That's what I like about being an artist. Anyway, I totally digress then. I got a bit philosophical, and I think that these paints made me do that, and that's not a bad thing. But anyway, I kept it quite simple, and again, I think it was mainly to just show off the colours more than anything. I wanted to have large areas of colour. I wanted to see what the coverage was like and what it would layer like, and wow. And even on the areas where I've gone a bit more on the detailing, like just on a facial area and just building up the different levels, I just couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. They're so nice. Now, I didn't have a skin tone in that set, and that's absolutely fine because I quite like mixing my own as well. I did decide to keep her quite fair because I wanted the background and the character to have quite a contrast to them, and I think this worked quite nicely. But I've got an orange, a yellow and a red, as well as some more earthy tones there, and they were just absolutely fine to create a skin tone with. And sometimes it is good to make it from scratch, it really is. To do the outlines, I just used a slightly thicker concentration of colour, which wasn't hard, and for the outline of the character herself, I used a really nice amethyst type colour, and I don't know if it was a sparkly paint or not, but the pigments actually, whilst they were in the palette diluted, they've got a bit of a sparkle to them. It was incredibly subtle once it had dried, but I wonder if that's what they used to create the pigments with. I'm not sure, but that was, I don't know, it was a bit magical. These paints are magical, that's what I'm going to say. They were so fluid to work with as well, and I didn't feel like I was pushing the colour around with a lot of effort, and yeah, I was really happy with them. I was really happy with how the painting looked as well. Regardless to the paints, I enjoyed painting with the paints, but the end product I was really happy with. And even the masking tape behaved, the washi tape behaved, and obviously the universe wanted this painting to happen, so it did. Anyway, I've definitely gone a bit too philosophical. I'm kind of recording this late at night as well. I just want to say a massive thank you to Artemystik for, again, sending me these paints. They are amazing, and I am so lucky that I had someone who would send them out to me, so I got to try them. I was so kind and thoughtful, and I absolutely love the tin. And also, I want to say thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate that. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe. A lot of people who watch this channel aren't subscribers, so why just not subscribe, and then you'll know when the next one's out. And also, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up so I know you've enjoyed this video. As always, drop a comment if you've got anything to say about this. I am always happy to reply, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.